Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I'm going to talk about the rig I'll be using for a show that's going to take place on Friday. So we're playing at a place that has a fairly wide stage, much bigger than the stages we normally play at. So I figured I'd indulge. I'll bring 3 guitars, run my stuff in stereo, and we're going to have a good time. So yeah, for the guitars, I'm going to be bringing these 3. So the first one is my Gibson ES335 Limited Turquoise. So yeah, I think they only made 150 of these. But what I love about this guitar, it's great for playing the all the old school soul and R&B stuff. Whenever you don't need too much gain, it's perfect for that. It's got the jangle because it's a hollow body. And yeah, and if you're not playing the heavier stuff with too much gain, you're not going to get the feedback that's normally associated with that. So the 335, I love how this thing feels. I normally play it strapped pretty high in a classical position. So the neck is perfect for that. It feels great because it feels like, it's hugging your body. It's got a nice big body. And yeah, you get the traditional hollow body sounds with it. Super comfy, plays super well. So yeah, for all the low gain songs, all the blues, soul, R&B stuff. And then for the heavier stuff, I have a 1959 Les Paul Reissue. Yeah, this one's super pretty. The top on that, it's like 3-dimensional. Also, if you look at the fretboard, wink, wink, it's special. So yeah, I actually haven't installed the pickguard on this guitar. I've had this guitar for a long time, but I've never had the heart to drill holes on it. So I have the pickguard on there with double-sided tape, and I put some tin foil on that hole just to make it look like there's a screw in there. But anyway, yeah, I love the look of the pickguard. Just gives it that, that Les Paul vibe. And it's great if you're playing it, strapped really low, like Slash, Joe Perry, or Jimmy Page. You can play the guitar however you want, but with a Les Paul, for me, it's almost like mandatory to, play it down low. So with that, it's comfy because it's got a super fat neck. So, if you're doing this like Slash, and, it feels good that way. So yeah, that is a 1959 Les Paul Reissue with the Wink Wink special board. And then this one is my Paul Reed Smith P24. This is basically like a custom 24 with the piezo. So I use this guitar for more of the modern dance stuff, because you can split the coils, you can get decent Strat sounds from it. And also for the heavier stuff, when you have to do tricks and do the occasional shredding, this is basically a super Strat in a suit. 24 frets, 2 humbuckers, whammy bar. It's not a Floyd Rose, but it gets the job done. If you're just, dipping the bar, doing dive bombs and stuff, it stays in tune really well. And God forbid you break a string, it's super easy to restring. It's not a Floyd. Put the string through there. This has locking machine heads, so you don't need to, keep winding the strings. Just put it in there, lock it up, tune it, and you're good to go. So yeah, the 3 guitars, all the low gain stuff, medium gain stuff, and for when you're going full shred, and the dance stuff, you're playing like Lizzo and Dance Monkey and shit. So anyway, those are the 3 guitars. All right, so for amplification, I'm going to be bringing 2 amps so I can run my stuff in stereo. A lot of people think just because you have 2 amps, it's in stereo, but to really make it stereo, you got to take advantage of it. So, for what I'm doing, I'm going to be using, the delays in stereo, the chorus in stereo. So yeah, we have 2 amps here My main amp is the Bogner Alchemist, and the secondary amp is a Boogie Mark I. That is a reissue from the 90s. Yeah, what I love about the Bogner, well, it's cheap. I got this for $200 right before a show. I remember telling the guy, all right, I tried it out, but I wasn't sure if it was, going to break later on. So yeah, I told the guy, if this thing breaks during my show, I'm be tapping at your window at 2 o'clock in the morning. I got it from Facebook or Craigslist, I think. But anyway, I love the Bogner. Really great clean tones. Yeah, a lot of people talk shit about this amp, but I think it's probably my favorite right now. And I got a decent selection of amps. I have more amps in the garage. So yeah, the Bogner has a really clean tone. And yeah, dare I say it, I like it more than the Deluxe. I have a Deluxe in the garage. So the clean tone is really nice. It's, clean, but, it's got that punchy Fender clean. Not like a Roland JC 120 80s, just clean. So, yeah, the clean tone is great. But when you push it with overdrive, if you want to play like, heavier stuff on it, it doesn't fart out like, the way Fender does. So, yeah, that's the Bogner Alchemist and the Boogie Mark I. So as a stereo rig, when I use the delay, I have it set on ping pong, the first delay goes into that Boogie. So actually, before I talk about that, these amps sound really different from one another. The Bogner has a ton of bite. Not to say that it doesn't have low end. It's got great low end. If I'm going to play with one amp, it'll be this guy right here. So, but yeah, with the bite and the crunch from the Bogner, and you combine it with this Boogie, the Boogie has a lot of low end thump. With tube amps, their tone changes depending on where you're at with the volume, because it's, tube amps aren't linear like solid state amps, like that little Katana over there. So with the Boogie, the darker sound and the bass, you combine it with that, you just get like a super full sound. It's kind of like when you're tracking guitars, if you're tracking two guitars on opposite sides of the stereo spectrum, it's good when they don't sound the same. So you kind of get that effect with these two amps. So also with the delay, with that as a secondary, I have it set where the first repeat on the delay would go through the Boogie. And this is going to sit, towards one side of the stage. This guy will be closer to center stage. So again, when the first repeat comes out of that, it's going to come out darker, a little bit farther away from you, so it doesn't muddy up your sound when you're playing single note lines. When the second repeat comes out of your main amp, it starts tapering off, so it's not as in your face. So it just kind of gives your tone like a chance to breathe, instead of when you're running things through, a single amp, your delay is just they're just popping out of the same speaker. So, and also when you're using chorus, you get that really nice swooshy tone. So yeah, those are the 2 amps. So why 2 amps? Why stereo? Because I can. I bought a hand truck so I can transport these guys much more easier. Because yeah, the Boogie, that alone weighs a ton. You can use that as an anchor for an aircraft carrier. That aircraft carrier isn't going anywhere. So, but yeah, so we have the Boogie and we have the Bogner. And for effects, I use a Headrush. Now the Headrush, I'm not using any type of modeling on it. All I have are simple, virtual pedals, drives, and delays, and I use a tremolo on the chorus. But that's pretty much it. So there's no modeling. I basically use this as a pedal board, with stop boxes. But I like the Headrush because of, the fact that you can program it. I still love my analog board, but that requires a lot of tap dancing. So Headrush, the Boogie, and the Bogner. And then we have these 3 beauties. And I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, really looking forward to Friday. So anyway, appreciate you guys hanging out. Sorry, I just kind of ramble. I don't script these videos. I just kind of talk. So, but yeah, again, thank you guys for hanging out. Stay safe. Take care.